Morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Richie, what's up? Or Rich, sorry. What's up, Rich? If I heard about the new Breadbot version 2, yes, I did definitely hear about the version 2 Breadbot. I was actually one of the first people to know. Um, just because, I run the Saturday orientations, if you guys didn't know. So, all the stuff that kind of goes on in the Discord, I kind of get most of the information firsthand. Um, so, you know I was really excited about here the version 2 of the Breadbot. So if you guys didn't already know, we're actually doing it as always. I mean, we're always trying to add value to the Discord. So if you guys didn't know, it's just like Rich asked right here, if you knew about the version 2 rolling out, you can actually find that in the announcements in the Discord. Miss Mo went through a whole list of different other things, making a couple of different other announcements, so definitely check that out if you haven't already. Also, good morning, by the way. Hope you guys are having a good morning on this Thirsty Thursday. Get your coffee ready. You know, it's a little early. Markets are just now open up. Crypto B, what's up, Brody? Love to see you in here. Always glad to have you in here. Jen, morning. How y'all doing? Um, so I just wanted to say a couple of different other things. First and foremost, yo, thank you so much for joining in the stream, or if you're just watching this a little bit later, I appreciate you watching. You guys are the greatest. I know a lot of speculations kind of going around right now, doom and gloom with the market and crypto and all that other stuff. But, we're here to teach through the rough seas, if you catch my drift. No pun intended. That was pretty funny. Anyway, also, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit to you guys about, what are your guys' goals for trading? Um, Man, I had a huge heron. What are your guys' goals for trading? I know a lot of new members are in here, are just now joining and stuff like that. A couple of different other things that I wanted to go over is like, what do you see your future being? You know what I mean? Um, how do you plan on allocating your money properly and putting them in the right channels and stuff like that, and making your money work for you? These are all really important questions, when you're joining the finance industry, obviously. FF, I want to retire from slavery now. Yo, Universal 1214. I 100% agree. I still work a 9 to 5. I do this in the morning for you guys, Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I got a little small time frame to where I can do this and then go to work. So I'm still working that 9 to 5 too. Got to pay those bills. Got to keep that steady revenue of income coming. And there's multiple ways that you can have that steady income coming in just by trading, by becoming an investor. I know we do a lot of stock options over here and stuff like that. Being a shareholder is one of the best ways to generate wealth over a period of time, right? Learning technicals, want to buy the combo course, really liking options. Yeah, dude, I want to quit 10 years ago. Yo, Dash, I feel you. I want to quit 10 years ago. Yo, me too. Me too. I really thought I was going to, honestly. There's a couple of times where I came into some money and I was like, man. But, life happens. And so, you got to pay some of the bills, and, medical expenses come up, or, you got to get a car. Your car takes a dump on you. You got to put a new motor in there, or just outright buy another car. And then, car prices are absolutely insane. They're actually starting to come down now, luckily. Luckily. Because the car market there, man, let me tell you, that thing was rocking real high, real high. It's the worst. Let's keep pushing, brother. Thanks for your help. Yo, Universal, 100%. No problem. That's the goal. Yeah. And that's also what I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about before we kind of jump into everything. You know what I mean? There's a great way to do this too, guys. There's multiple different other aspects of trading that you can be exploring, as well as great documentation, guys. It's really important. When I very first started my trading journey, I used to document everything. I still have a book. I don't use it anymore, but I still use notes. I still write sticky notes. I got sticky notes everywhere and stuff like that. I mean, obviously you can't see them, but I got some notes and stuff like that that I currently like to have around. Just simple small reminders, or even just like not to make this like religious or anything like that. I'm not really a religious person, but I have some quotes over there of the Bible, that are very motivational, things that give me strength or, get me through the day or, just little small things that, I've come to come to light for me to where it really gives me a broader aspect of where I want to go on this journey or, what's motivating me to do stuff. Um, and it's always good just to have a little couple of little key things in there just to kind of remind you because we get busy with life and it's always important just to have those little small simple reminders right there of why you're doing this. Maybe you're doing this for your family, financial freedom, generational wealth. You want to bring this knowledge onto your kids, which also kind of leads me into the master course classes too, as well as the Discord too. That's why I think personally, I think the lifetime membership is the best membership to have because you have it for life. And like Mo says, he's not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. And I believe him, man. I mean, that guy's drive and he's so driven. He's so motivated, like day in and day out. Let me tell you, that man's been putting in work, and I don't think he's ever going to quit. You can just tell when you're interacting with somebody or watching somebody if they're being genuine or you can read their character very well. And Mo's one of those people that, man, let me tell you, he's got it. He's definitely got it. And that's one of the main reasons why I followed him too. You can just when somebody's being real with you, and Mo's one of the realest ones out there. He keeps it 100, as everybody likes to say. Do the courses come with the lifetime membership, Jen? Unfortunately, they do not. They're their own separate entity. But if you do buy the courses, obviously you're gonna have that for life. You're gonna have the courses for life. So whenever you want to go back to it and refer to it, you can always go back to it. And also, it has its own little classroom environment type of area to where you can ask questions and talk to them and message the team and stuff like that are in there. Other members, they have their own little small section of posts and stuff that you can post in. So it's its own separate entity, unfortunately. But we did actually, when we first rolled out the courses way back, I think, how long ago was that, man? It's been like about a year, I think we've had the courses. When he first rolled it out, he did, if you did get the lifetime membership, you got the technical course for free with it. But we don't run that promo anymore. As you guys know, we run through a bunch of different other promos and stuff like that. So, and then that's why also I said, getting the lifetime is really great if you're looking for that generational wealth. This is something that you could pass on to your children or maybe your kids are coming to age, maybe they're about to be 18 and stuff like that and they're about to leave the nest and you want to prepare them the best as possible. You can allow them to watch your Discord or stuff or something like that, you know what I mean, or watch the Discord, or you can teach them what you've learned from the Discord and refer back to older videos, like our class library and stuff like that. So setting up for success is definitely possible by going through the Discord. So like I said, I highly recommend the lifetime. That way you don't have to worry about it. And then, Mo's legacy is going to live on through, I believe, Trade Coach. He says Trade Coach is going to take over. I don't know if you guys see Trade Coach, but he also posts a bunch of different other stuff in the Discord. I can definitely tell he's a good person and so smart. Yeah, Jen, for real. Mo is so smart. Well, he, obviously he used to be a teacher. So, um, he's been teaching for a very long time. Very, very long time. Him and his wife, Miss Mo, they both were teachers. As you know, I don't know if you guys know Mo's story, but every once in a while he comes out and makes a video about his journey, and I can definitely relate to a lot of stuff that Mo has been through his journeys and stuff like that. And that's also another reason why I love this community. I love this Discord. I love you guys. You guys are fantastic. You guys bring so much value here. There's so much knowledge jumping around. That's why I love too. We're all here to help each other succeed, and that's the best way to be. As you guys may or may not know, this is not a copy trade service. This is an educational service. We're trying to teach people, the best way to succeed. By trading the stock market. Whether that's options or you want to be a shareholder or whatever it may be. We got a mix of different things in there. We got all of our experts in there. You got Mo in there. Mo's killing it, dude. Mo's been killing it for a very long time. Um, and that's also another thing too, as well, is it's just that man, I had a brain fart right there. It's still a little early. I gotta drink this coffee. You know what I'm saying? Need to get caffeinated. Um, Man, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else. Oh, that's also another reason why I follow Mo too, as well, is because of how he teaches. I'm a firm believer on uh, many different teaching styles. So like I personally, I've trained a bunch of people and hired people, and I've built teams and dismantled teams, and I've built things from the ground up before multiple different other times. And the thing that I love about Mo is his teaching style and how he teaches. You know what I mean? He gives you the tools, and it's what you do with those tools is what really makes the difference. I mean, it's the ball is literally in your court, and I don't see why anybody wouldn't want to take advantage of all those tools that we have in here and stuff like that. So that's why I said too as well in the beginning. I want to talk about your guys' journey. Where do you guys want to go? What's not necessarily the end goal, but what is the goal? You know what I mean? Like, where do you see yourself in even next year or next month? You know what I mean? Maybe even tomorrow. Where do you want to go on your journey here? Is there like a certain number you want to hit, or are you just trying to compound interest in dividends? You know what I mean? Are you trying to throw like 50,000 into a 5% dividend stock so you get a nice good return on investment through dividends? Or are you trying to live every other month? Or are you trying to scrounge up a couple $1,000s? You know what I mean? Mo, when he trades, he trades three times a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And his daily goal when he's day trading zero DTEs is $200 a day. I mean, let's just really kind of break that down. Like, really, really, really think about this, guys. I really like to make this point a lot to a lot of people, because it's really important to put the power of trading and the perspective of trading into your everyday life. You know what I mean? So if he goes for $200 a day, how much do you make a day at your day job? Working that 8-hour shift. From whenever it starts. Let's just say that 9 to 5. Do you make $200 a day? Maybe you only make like $20, $15 minimum wage. Maybe you're just a server, or you know what I mean. You work for tips. How much do you make a day, and how much can you make in trading within that 1 hour? He makes $200 in 1 hour. Most of the time less, in like 30 minutes. And like, that's the power of trading. Now, obviously, you need capital to do these kinds of things, and you need the knowledge to know when to get in and when to get out. And obviously, that's why we're here to do that. But to teach you these things. But like I said, just to put that in perspective, that's somebody's whole days of work. Some people hit $1,000 plays. You know what I mean? I've seen multiple people hit $20,000 plays, or $10,000 or 100, or it doesn't really matter how much it is. You know what I mean? Just to put that into time spent. How did you use your time? Did you use your time wisely? You know what I mean? Just kind of like Universal said, he's trying to get out of the rat race, trying to get that financial freedom. And that's what we're all here to do. And I really want you guys to really think about that. You know what I mean? Put a number down, maybe something small. Don't go for something huge first. Remember, small steps, guys. Small steps before you take big steps. Got to learn how to walk before you run. You know what I mean? And that, like I said, that's why we're here to teach you guys and stuff like that. So, definitely put that in perspective, guys. If you make $200 in 1 hour, that's somebody's whole days of work, literally a whole days of work. And if you can repeat that over and over and over and over again, just like Mo does, he hits at 80%. I think it's 81% now. Over the past year, it's 81%. So, like I said, you guys can do it. It's very, 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 very much possible. It just takes time. It takes dedication. It takes education. Use the tools that we have in the Discord, guys. It's very important. Dash, he says, yeah, I see. I don't have all the extra cash to dump. If I can start to generate some money now with what you can offer and help, I would reinvest that in the courses and lifetime membership. you want to pay off my debt and afford tacos for life for me and my family, Dash, for sure, dude. Tacos for life, bro. That's where it's at. Maybe even open up your own taco stand. You know what I mean? Maybe you want a food truck. That's another way to generate some money there for you. You got enough money to have somebody run a food truck for you selling tacos, and you can go visit your food truck every day if you want. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, that's what we're here to teach, and also that's why I'm here to teach too, as well as people who are beginners, to how to paper trade. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing here today. I'm going to be paper trading. I might make one live trade with you guys depending on how the charts are looking. And I mean, it's not looking too good right now. Obviously, we're on a downturn, not too crazy, nothing too crazy. Everybody's saying the sky is falling, the sky's falling. And we've gone down like 20 bucks, if that, not even like $10. $10 off the high. Well, then I'm looking at SPY right now. So that's what we're going to be doing. This is why I love to practice trade and to paper trade and stuff like that, to teach you guys different strategies. As you guys know, I'm going to be evolving this as we go on. So this is just a slow roll, just an introduction. I think like starting maybe next-ish month. I just got my computer. I'm actually in the middle of like moving right now, so I don't have everything that I want set up. This is just kind of like a little mobile setup that I got going on right now, a little rinky-dink setup. So I'm going to be definitely bringing more and more and more and more and more advanced things as we go further and further down the line. So, you know, if you guys are with me on the journey, let me know, man. Let me know in the comments down below. Also, it also helps me with my channel a little bit if you just smash that like button. You know, I used to make these little fun phrases. I'm going to start doing it again. I'm going to start putting some funny scripts out here where it makes fun of the like button. I've seen a couple people do it. I used to do it all the time when I first started streaming and stuff like that. I used to make some little funny intro phrases and stuff. I traded on BYDFi last night. I traded futures. Bitcoin was fun. Yeah, I personally haven't used that platform yet. I'm still using Kalshi when it comes to trading Bitcoin and stuff like that. So I like those quick little scalps. I'm a scalper. I just want to be quick in and out. Boom, boom, boom. Wham, bam. You know what I mean? Also, I mean, not also. Anyway, I'm going to get right into it, guys. If you guys didn't already know, like I said, you guys can join on the journey here with us. If you guys are following me along on YouTube, you can scan this QR code if you're on desktop, or you can hit my links to financial freedom right here in this link right here. It's going to pull up my digital business card. I have everything that you need here for the monthly. I think Code Mo is actually done for the Discord, so if you guys got that discounted rate, you're locked in for life, get grandfathered in right there. So very lucky. Obviously, we have the annual, the lifetime, and then we have the payment plan option. If you guys want to follow me in my socials, you can. I use these stocks to trade on. So I use Robinhood and Webull. So if you guys don't have an account or you're looking for a different platform to use, these are the two that I use, Webull and Robinhood. Those guys are right there. And then, you know, just like Jen was, or who was asking about the classes, I don't remember. Anyway, somebody was asking about the courses. I have those right here too as well. Master course classes, the technical options, and crypto. So we do the bundle deal, or you can get them individually. Use code SAVE at checkout, and it's going to give you a sick discount. So I highly recommend the technical. So if you just click on the technical one, I think code SAVE still works for the individuals. Let's see here. Boom. Yeah. All right. Cool. So it's only $279 for the single course class. You know, that's a sick deal. $279. That's like one option play. That's more. That's way less than what Mo uses for one of his options to zero DTD trade in. So also, you know, $200 a day. If you can come up with 79 extra bucks from one day trade, if you win with Mo, you know what I mean? You can easily pay for itself right here. So definitely take advantage of that. I personally recommend just getting the bundle deal. Just get all three of them, honestly, because why not, man? I mean, like I said, the price isn't even that much for all three of the classes. We take another big discount off right here when you use code SAVE, just to make that comparison here really quick from that $279 to $699, and that's for the bundle deal. You know what I mean? So only a couple $100 more. Literally, probably if you day trade with Mo three times a week, you could pay for the courses and classes themselves. Anyway, that's all I got for that kind of stuff. Let's get into the market here. Um, where's my stuff? All right, cool. So I'm looking at, my bad, wrong screen. So I'm looking at the daily right here, obviously. Um, so we kind of opened a little bit down. Let me put this up right here. Looks like we gapped down right here. We opened right here at 752, and it looks like this is the previous all-time high that we broke. That looks like it acted as kind of a support area. Actually, I should probably just put this other blue line right here. I'll do that later. So obviously we broke up. We got these two RSI overbought signs. Now, if you guys know what the overbought signal means, it means we normally have a downward trend, right? Overbought, overbought, overbought. This one kind of tagged down, but we continued up higher, overbought, and then we had the 3-day sell-off, right? So every time we get an overbought signal right here, look for the wash, guys. Now, remember too as well, just because it says overbought does not mean that it cannot continue to go higher, okay? It could still go higher and higher and higher and higher until it doesn't. Markets can stay irrational longer than we can stay solvent. So, man, my throat's a little dry this morning. Remember, so when you see the RSI overbought signal, like I said, this can continue to run up until it doesn't. Looks like yesterday we had that nice little sell-off to test the 5. It looks like we opened up under the 5. More than likely, after we have these overbought signals, we normally see a 13 or 50 test. I don't think we're going to see a 50 test anytime soon yet, because the 50 is all the way down here. Look at that, all the way to 722. Not saying that we can't go all the way down there. We most certainly can. I've seen markets, I've traded in markets that have moved $20 before, like in one day, in one trading session, easily, in both directions. $20 down, $20 up. It's a wild ride, let me tell you. This is like nothing. This is just a drop in the ocean. So remember, guys, too, as well, don't always listen to the news. News likes to spread FUD. FUD is fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So don't mind all that stuff, okay? There is good information out there, but just be mindful about the information that's being output. So, I mean, as you can clearly see, we're only we're stopped out at 760. We're about it went down $9. That's a pretty healthy move. It's a healthy correction from being overbought, right? And we came down. I think we're going to fill this gap right here for the day. Right, as you can see here, I'm just going to put a little line right here for future reference. Boom. And then I'm just going to type gap. And then we can put a number right here. What is it? 753. Boom. This is a good way too, guys. If you guys are charting, definitely use your tools, right? You have your toolbar over here. I don't think I even went over any of these. You can do extended line, horizontal ray. Horizontal line is pretty much just a straight line across. You don't have to do what I normally do. I keep mine magnetized because I do different chartings all the time and stuff like that. So I prefer using either the blue line or the extended line. So I use the trend line or I use the extended line, and that's what I have right here in my tools. I also use the long position or the short position too as well. So definitely, if you guys haven't gone through the TradingView tools, definitely go through the tool belt here. There's lots of good stuff over here, different Fibonacci styles, different chart patterns that you can use, right? Now, all these mean different things. I only use a select few things. Like I said, short, long positions, my trend line, and my extended line and my horizontal line. Those are the 3 ones that I mainly use for that. And then, you can draw different other things. Oh, I also use the arrows too. I like using the arrows. They're pretty straightforward, obviously. So definitely check out this kind of stuff. Okay, guys, use that tool belt, go through it, get comfortable, start scribbling some lines with your Crayolas and stuff. So I mean, as you can see, I use a lot. I use a lot of lines for different things. You know what I mean? Lots of different gaps. You know, there's a gap down here. There's a gap right here. There's a gap right here. There's another one right here. Didn't fill, right? Bounced right back up. Got another gap here. All-time highs. You know, I use these things for different other things, and I label these things. So when I go back, right, and I'm charting something, or, you know, maybe a couple of months down the road, I'm like, I haven't pulled up this chart in a while. You know, for example, let's just pull up Meta. You know, Meta is, I have a bunch of different stuff on Meta. On the daily, I think. Boom. So I did all this stuff a long time. See, look at that. See how I have these gaps. I charted this one, was this the 22nd of April. I charted all this. We carried a gap at 506, 549, 609, and I charted these as they happened. And then look what happened. I got a head and shoulder. I got a big head and shoulders pattern right here. Wow, that's way far off. This one would be the shoulder. This one would be the head, right? And then I have a double top right here. See how it looks all crazy and stuff like that? So if I get rid of the recipe really quick, it looks pretty simple, right? It just looked really busy, but really it's pretty simplistic. I saw multiple gaps. There's one here. We have another one down here, another one down here. It looked like it almost tried to fill this 506 gap all the way down here. Didn't. Rebounded right back up, and it looks like we're running up again right here. But I do all this stuff to kind of visualize, right, my charts and use them for future reference. You know what I mean? Like, this is all-time highs for Meta. I think Meta will go back to 790, but I definitely do think we're gonna need to come back down and fill these gaps first. And you can see it's pretty crazy. So I have multiple different charts just like this where I've charted them months out or months before into today. So it's really important that you guys do this and that you guys learn your technicals and your support and your resistance lines. And I'm going to be teaching what head and shoulders are, what a cup and handle is, a W pattern, a double bottom, you know, a triple bottom, a double top, you know, with sell off. See, I write all these little small key notes in there so I can go back and be like, oh, this makes sense. And then look, I have a little arrow right here. I'm like, are we going to rip up? That's exactly what happened. We ripped right back up. I mean, obviously we came down first and then we came back up. But like I said, really, really, really important to kind of just use those tools and stuff like that. So I'm just going to jump right into it. I got like 30 more minutes, so I want to do a couple of day trades with you guys. And see, look, I have, see how I have all these gaps all the way down, all the way to 529. We could easily go down to 523 actually, because this is the start of the gap. Or this is the start of the gap. This is the end of the gap. I think I put that one specifically at 529.30 for a different reason. And like I said, you can do this multiple different other times. So it looks like we're about to fill this gap right here. Look at that. See, just like what I was saying this morning, it looks like we're going to probably come up and fill this gap. And what happened? We came up and it looks like we're about to fill this gap. Now, I don't know if we're going to get a rejection right here after we fill the gap. It's very much possible. So let's go down to the 1 minute chart here, because obviously that's where we are. So it looks like that gap is filled already. If we're breaking it down on a smaller time frame, looks like we're coming back up, have relative strength here. Let's turn the bread bot back on. Boom, boom, boom. Got that 5 crossing the 13 EMA right here. And it looks like we came across 13 bounce right up on here. Let's go for a short. We're going to short, so we're going to pull up our Webull right here. Like I said, we're going to hopefully I'm thinking that we're going to come back down and come down to this general area. So let's just get into a play here real quick. Boom. Let's see if we get in. All right, we're in. So I'm at a 753 put right here. I bought 10 contracts, and my average price, I bought it at 115. So let's see if we get it here. I'm hoping for that rejection off of what I just did the technical analysis on. That's looking exactly like that. Boom. We might bounce off the 5 here. We'll see. So it looks like we're already up a couple of bucks. I'm looking for a retest of the 50 here. So let's see if we can come down to the 50 or VWAP, right? Based off of that technical. And this is the key things that I look for. So I know it seems really fast right now, and I know that there's going to be slight lag behind, but this is how fast it should take you sometimes to enter or not enter a trade, right? To enter or exit a trade. I saw exactly what I was looking for. We are right there at the line. I wasted no time to get in. Now, sometimes that may burn you, but it's just kind of important to understand that that's possibly a resistance area. We literally just went up to fill the gap. As you know, we've been bearish. I think we're going to come down and test the 13 on the daily. So let's just go back over here and look at the daily again. So I think we're going to come back down. I personally think we're going to come down to around the 750 area. Remember, you want to play kind of like the zone. You kind of want to zone it out, you know what I mean? Because just because you draw a line there does not mean the market's going to respect your line, right? Just because I drew this gap line does not mean that this thing isn't going to get blown out of the water. So this is kind of what I'm thinking for the daily here. We could easily come back up, test the 5, and then come back down. So we're literally in kind of a pinch, but we're curling down. As you know, we had this big red candle. So I'm going to kind of lead with that from the previous day to think that we're going to come back down, test the 13 here. So let's see. Like I said, we could bounce off the 5, which is looking like it's happening right now. Currently, we're up 140 for the play. Does not mean that it won't reverse like it is kind of right now. But like I said, I still think we're going to get this wash down. I don't think this is going to hold. I don't think this is going to hold up. I think we're still getting the wash. MACD right here too as well. You see how it's kind of pinching a little bit down. Now, I know a lot of people don't necessarily understand the MACD too much, so I'm going to give a little small kind of generalized breakdown of the MACD. So the MACD, these right here are basically like volume bars. You see how I have the volume right here? These are indicating buyers and sellers. So there's more buyers right now, right, that are pushing this up. You saw this little slight less buy. So the higher this goes, right, the bigger it goes, the candle, this little green candle, that means there's going to be more and more buyers. You saw that big push up. Looks like you had a small sell right here, right? And it's kind of going lower, and that's exactly what's happening right here. It's kind of going lower. And then obviously you have these, I forgot what these lines are called right now. They're called something. There's actually a video in the learning library in the Discord that goes over the MACD too as well. So definitely check that out. Definitely explains it a lot better than I am right now. And you can see it's starting to curl down. So obviously we're bullish. So as soon as this crosses right here, boom, it goes up, right? We're bullish. See it coming down slightly, and it's kind of coming down. These are basically moving averages. And you can see, you know, if it's going to be bearish or bullish. You see we have red buy. There's lots of sellers here. And as soon as these cross either obviously up or how it's crossing now and we're going down, I use these just kind of as a general guideline tool. I don't rely on these really heavily because reversals do happen all the time. So be careful when you're using these tools. Remember that. Remember exactly this. They're just tools. They're general guidelines. These aren't 100% certain. Anything in the market is not 100% certain. So I like using these for verification purposes. Now it looks like we're right here at the 50 of where I want it to be. If you guys know, the 50 is a really strong EMA to beat. It either acts as a support or as it acts as a resistance, as it kind of is right now. It looked like it had that little small bounce as a support. This opening candle looks like it's going to come back down. Look at this nice, big, beautiful wash we're getting. We're currently at the VWAP. I also use the RSI right here too as well. My RSIs are slightly different on the whatever platform that I'm using. I don't keep them all the same, but relatively the same. And we're currently sitting at 47, which is not too bad. So we're pretty bearish. So it looks like exactly like I just called out right here. We did exactly that right here. So let's go back and look at the play. Boom. And you saw how quickly I did that, right, guys? What's up, Brian? You saw how quickly I got into that play, right? Real quick. And you can even just recap this too. Let's just recap a little bit too. It looks exactly right here too as well. You have this little small resistance area. So let's just mark right here really quick, just these two candles, or even further here. We'll just do it further. So like right here was also a resistance area. As you can see, you had the sell off right here. You came back up, you kind of bounced. The 5 kind of went under the 50, but the 13 didn't cross here. It bounced, right? And then you had the 5 come back up and it gained strength off the 13 again right here on this big engulfing candle. It came up, saw this was a resistance area, got rejected, came all the way back down, kind of consolidated for a couple candles, came back up off the 13, couldn't beat the 13, couldn't go under. Boom, came back up. I was like, oh, well, there's a gap right here, right, on the previous day candle. Let's put a line there. I put the line there, and we were already right here. And I was like, this is perfect. Let's see if we get a rejection here. Now, it didn't mean that we were 100% going to get this rejection. I've seen it blow right through gaps before. So just be mindful of those things. I was like, this looks like a great spot for a rejection. Now, remember, I'm analyzing all this stuff like really fast. So it looks like we're getting a reversal right here. Let's get out of the play. Hold on, before I continue breaking this down. So it looks like we're up $500 for the position right here for that play. It was a good solid play right here, 540. So we're just going to close this out. What was the strike on this? We're just going to close. What was the last price? 169. So I'm just going to do a limit order. We're going to go 170. I'm going to close that out at 170. Well, it's at 171, so looks like we're about to sell anyway. So 560, boom, we're out. Now, I did that for a limit order right there. I normally do limit orders when it comes to price predictions and stuff like that. We're probably going to get another big wash, but for the sake of the trade, I just want to get out really quick. Because we did previously have that 13 bounce off the 50, as I mentioned before over here. That could very possibly happen right here too. I don't know that for sure, but I'd rather take profit. Remember, the biggest flex is taking profit. Back to work, peace. All right, peace out, Dash. Biggest flex is taking profit. See, even the EMA's kind of dancing at the 50 here. We could easily, I mean, this is a green candle, right? Could go back up. So anyway, let's go back to the recap of the play. So we have resistance, right? Boom, confirmation of a resistance, confirmation of a resistance. Well, not a confirmation, but the initial set of the resistance. Boom, came down. EMAs came right here. Only the 5 crossed. 13 came back. Boom, 5 bounced back up. Got that 5 crossing the 13 indicator right here. This guy tested the 50. Ripped back up because obviously, like I said, the 50 is a big strength area. It's either a big support or a big resistance. So like I said, keep that in mind. One of the strongest indicators in the game is the 50. So it came back down, boom, and I was like, boom, we already created that gap from the daily. Now remember, guys, the daily, not the daily, sorry, higher time frames are more accurate. Okay, the higher the time frame, the more accurate it's going to be, or the more likely it's going to play out in whatever favor that is, or whatever pattern that is. We'll go over that a little bit later. So that's also why I personally like opening up the daily first thing in the morning. I need to see that whole candle, where it is, what it's done, what the previous day candles were doing, what's the trend, right? So I always look at the daily. The daily is the best. And then obviously if you want more longer expirations, like, you know, leaps or something like that, you can get into those with the weekly or the monthly or the hourly, you know, the 4-hour time frames. However you like. Me personally, Daily and the 15-minute is normally what I look at because I like scalping and day trading. So you saw this is the top line right here that I drew. Boom, we got it. I immediately went in. I was like, you know what? We got to play it. Boom. Didn't even think about it too hard. Got in. What did we get? We got this nice big beautiful wash for how much? 5 bones. 570, I think it was. Came here, had that little confirmation of 5 crossing the 13. Our candles got under the 50. This one came all the way down, came back up. This one tested the 13. Now, when you get under the 50 here too as well, guys, another key thing to look for is looking for a retest of the EMAs. So if you think that, oh, this thing's going to wash really hard, that may be it. But normally, more times than not, you will see a retest of one of the EMAs after you get under the 50. You'll see a small little slight dip like you did right here, boom, and then you got another test that you see right here. So remember, keep that in mind too as well. Same thing over here. What happened? We got under the 50, right? This candle opened under the 50, boom, came back up, tested the 50 and the 5, and continued back down. So remember, look for those EMA tests here, guys. Also, see, this is also why I got out of the play, because remember, pattern recognition here. Pattern recognition is key. So you saw right here too as well. Boom, got the 5 coming under. This is what I mentioned previously before. Boom, the 5's kind of under right here, but the 13 didn't get under, right? Come over here. 13 didn't get under here either. So looks like there's relative strength right in this general area right here as a support. I would probably say right here would be the support, kind of basing it off of this candle right here that looks like it was a resistance, but now it's acting as a support. Boom, came down, but this engulfing candle and this bottle rocket right here, and then you got multiple touches right here. So this looks like a possible key support area. So if I drew a line right here, this is kind of what I would be looking at. Now remember, guys, just because I drew a line does not mean that it's going to respect the line at all. I use a generalization of a zone area. So just because it didn't touch right here, it's just letting me know, hey, there's support right around this area. I mean, if I really wanted to, you know, I could move it up right here to be more specific, right? Engulfing candle, candle touch with a rip up, candle touch with a rip up, and then boom, you have the lift off right here. And it looks like we're hitting another resistance right here off of this gap line that we have for the daily. So I don't know if this is going to end up continuing up or if it's going to continue down. Obviously, you know, we could probably continue down. We'll see how strong that is. But this is why I draw these lines here, guys, for quick technical analysis. So literally all these things that I explained is literally everything that I saw in like a matter of a couple of seconds. And this is how quick and easy it should be for you guys to get in and out of a play, or even draw simple lines right here real quick. You should be able to go in here, scoop, right? Get your little Crayolas out, you know. Coffee. I love coffee. You know, funny story, I used to not even drink coffee until a couple years ago. I was gonna help, funny story, I was gonna help the mother of my child. She wanted to run a mobile coffee truck, and I didn't even like coffee, didn't even drink coffee, and ended up drinking some coffee. Because I, you know, gotta test the products. And ever since then I've been about it. So I only drink really good coffee nowadays. But yeah, like I said, you're gonna want to basically do all this kind of this is very simplistic, right? Very basic stuff. And we made 5 bones. Literally paid for your courses just like that. Boom. So if you guys have $1,000 and you're looking to make some money, boom. I think we paid about 1,200. I think 1,200. Yeah, so the daily P&L, boom, right here. Where's my boom? Well, that's what I made already. Oh. I don't remember where the thing is. That's not it. Whatever. Anyway, we made like 560 for the play. Also, like I said, I used multiple different indicators and stuff like that. I saw there was volume down here. Now, I also wanted to point this out, guys. If you guys use Webull, right here in your options chain, you're gonna see the volume, IV, HV stuff right here. If you click on this bad boy right here, and you click right here in the search bar, I'm gonna type in SPY here really quick. It's gonna give you options analytic or statistics here. Now the option statistics is actually this is a really good tool to just kind of use to kind of see the options that are the option chain, right? The statistics. So if you scroll right here on the right side, it's going to tell you the volume, the open interest and stuff like that. Basically just the overview of everything, right? Volatility levels, historical volatility, right? So historically it's been about the same. And then the volume distribution. This is also a really great tool to use when you're trading. You're going to be able to see how many call options are the volume of the call options and the volume of the put options. Currently right now, it looks like call options are in control. So the bulls look like they're going to be in control. And then if you look over here to the left side right here, you're going to see the strike prices, right? And you're going to see the volume right here. This is the volume per call right here. This is the call side. So for example, at 753, we have 168,000 overpowering the puts right here. The puts are only at 95K. So it looks like the bulls, if it gets to what number are we at right now? 753. So right now the bulls are in control. So this leads me to think that we're going to be bullish. 752, if this doesn't break out right here in the 753 and continue to 740 or 754 or 755, and if this fails, looks like the bears are going to take control right here at 752. So just be mindful of that. If you don't get this breakout or continuation up, definitely be looking to go to the 752 area. Doesn't look like there's much calls on the 751. So yeah, if it breaks the 752 right here, the bears are going to take it. So it's a pretty evenly matched. I mean, you can see it right here in the statistics line too as well. 1 million in volume and about 990,000 in volume. So about 10K of a difference, which you can literally see right here in the volume. And then you can see the total volume right here. So this is a great way too as well to just kind of learn the options. And you can incorporate this literally into your trading. So this is another key tool right here, guys, that I'm putting you guys on to possibly learn about, to use, and that's the option statistics. This is a really great tool for beginners to kind of learn where the candle possibly may go. Obviously, you can't dictate. You can't know if a news event comes out or a black swan event or anything like that, obviously. So just be mindful about that. But these statistics are really good, guys. Really good. You can see the ask and the bid and the between market right here. Pretty close. Look, see, it's real close right now. It's a bear and a bull fight. Real close. The volumes are real close. So look at that. Boom. Looks like we're not quite there yet. Looks like the bears might take it again. So like I said, we could come down if we can't beat the 753 going into 754 area. Did you guys have any questions or anything like that? If you did, let me know. And look, it's respecting the line right here that I drew on the gap line. You see that? This is why it's really good to just, chart. Also, this is another support-ish area. This is I call this a temporary support because you do just have these bounces right here, and it's pretty much leading right off of the 50. I would consider this more of a support area right here. Because we do have a huge engulfing candle down with a bounce back up with the close right here, and then the new candle right here leading into this big green rip up right here, and then another big rip up right here. These engulfing candles right here. So this is what I would consider as a base support, as a main support, and I would consider this as a temporary support. Um, like right here, because these candles aren't, the bodies of the candles aren't full like this. You know what I mean? It's just, it's, these wicks are right here. This is basically like an indecision, or what do we call these? A rotating top, a spinning top. That's another thing that I'm going to go over too here, guys, real soon, is candle patterns. So it looks like we're still respecting the line. Looks like the bears couldn't, or the bulls couldn't rip it back up. You saw that huge spike in volume for the puts right here. It was lower. Well, this is Nvidia. You saw that big spike up right here when the puts were at 9,090. We got like a, what is that? Like a 20, not a 20. It's about like a 10.5, something like that, 10.05 thousand or 110,000 volume push up right here to bring it to a million. Sorry, my math isn't mathing this morning. But like I said, you know, it's still respecting the line. Could it still push up? Yeah. I am, like I said, I'm bearish today just based off of the RSI on the daily here. So let's see if that even kind of plays out. Do I have enough time? Oh man, I only got 9 minutes left. I started yapping too long, guys. I wanted to get in one real trade with you guys. Doesn't look like I'm gonna make it. But let's see if we can get one paper trade in here. I don't want to make a live trade and then have to drive to work and not be able to watch the charts. Those things can kill you. You could get slaughtered on some of those. RSI, or an RSI, MACD is looking to kind of bounce right here. Now let's look at the overall market here. How are we doing? Now remember, guys, I have all these on the 5-minute time frame, except for SPY up here. This is the 1-minute time frame. And it looks like we're creating a slight channel upwards too. This could be a rising wedge or just a new channel. Looks like we're at a pivot point of the channel here. Anyway, so it looks like Microsoft selling off. MACD rejected right here. We came up, tested just above the 50, had the rejection right here. Let's see if this will hold as a support around the 428.75. Nvidia looks like it wants to rip up here. MACD's kind of slowly turning. RSI's at 51, not bad. It's leading into the bullish territory. We could see a rip up there. Nvidia could possibly lead the market higher. Maybe. Meta looks like it wants to sell off here. RSI sitting at 74. So yeah, I expect some relief on Meta. Might do a put on Meta here. It looks like a Vago. Vago's struggling kind of in a downward channel here. Yeah, right here. Huh. Looks like it wants the pearl back up. Look right here. Looks like we have that support. This is a little support area. Okay. Okay. Okay, man. Nope, rejection. All right, so a little unsure here. I think we might head higher. Yeah, it's looking like it. Yeah. And so this is what I use as the overall, as you guys know, this is what I use as an overall generalization, because these 5 stocks right here make up SPY. Top holdings, I think Google and Amazon are the other 2, but I personally watch Advago and Meta because I like their price action a little bit better. So I'll keep that in mind too as well. Also, guys, did you guys have any questions about anything that I explained there or anything like that at all? I have like 5 minutes that I can take some questions here with. If you guys don't, Look at this nice, good green candle up right here. Boom, boom, boom. Nice. What are we looking like on the daily here? Let's go back to the daily. So it looks like we're about to go up and test the 5. Yeah, so basically kind of what I said this morning. It's very, like I said, very much possible we come up, we test the 5, and then possibly head back down, or this is just going to be relative strength right here. So this is what I would be looking for right at the top right here. I'd be looking at 755, guys, around 755 area. Everyone knows Nvidia is the best. Yo, Will, 100%, bro. 100%. The leading tech stock, Nvidia. Yeah, so like I said, boom. Looks like we're right here. See how that works out too as well? You see how we're right here on the closing end of this candle? And that's right where we are, where we're kind of seeing another resistance area is right here on this candle. So if I did this again, right here on the daily, and we can even break this down into a smaller time frame on the 1 minute here. Looks like we're getting another rejection. Gap close. This is the closing candle of yesterday's or opening candle of yesterday's or what's it closing? Is closing candle is the closing candle, sorry. Got those a little mixed up for some reason there for a second. This is the closing candle and literally rejected right off of there. So you see how you can do these how you can chart? It's really easy to chart, guys. If you use, like I said, higher time frames are more accurate. See how I bring the daily into my 1 minute time frame? You can do the same to any other time frame, just as long as it's bigger, right? You're always going to want to make sure that it's the highest time frame. You can, like I said, you can go to the day, the weekly, the month, the 12 month, whatever it is. But like I said, I normally use the daily, 1 minute, and the 15 minute. So I'm going to pull up the 15 minute here. And it looks like we're bullish on the 15. I didn't have an indicator right here for the 5 crossing the 50. So that leads me to believe that there is some weakness here. We don't have, the RSI is not in bullish territory yet. Also, we got overbought, and what happened on the overbought? This next candle came all the way down for that relief. We bounced right there, boom. And then we came in here. And you see how all my lines are kind of lining up here? See how it's pretty much almost acting as a support right here is this bottom when I broke it down in a smaller time frame. Smaller time frames could be helpful for bigger time frames. They all basically help each other, basically. So I hope you guys learned something here today. I feel like that was a really good breakdown. If you guys thought it was a really good breakdown of how I explain things, hit that like button for me. I would appreciate that. Lets me know that you kind of learned something or you thought this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. So anyway, guys, like I said, set up a goal, guys. Set up your trading goal, what you want to accomplish. Even for maybe this next month, like maybe set a goal for the next like 2 months. Write some stuff down on a notebook or a pad or a sticky note and just have it right there on your computer, right where you can see it every time you open it up, or have something motivational. Maybe you're having a down day. I didn't have a good day yesterday trading at all. I had 2 good wins and I had 1 big loss. So that kind of stuff happens. And you just kind of got to roll with the punches and stuff like that and understand why you're doing this. Maybe you're trying to do this to bring some more money to your family or have some more revenue to alleviate some bills, or, you're looking to maybe subsidize something, take something off your plate, or maybe you're trying to teach your family, maybe your kids, maybe you're trying to have them sitting right next to you on your lap or sitting side by side, depending on how old they are, and teaching them the charts and stuff like that and learning. So, like I said, I highly recommend that, you guys have a trading plan, write out what your goals are, what you want to accomplish, and try to accomplish those. And then, share them in the comments too down below if you like. Let me know what your guys' goals and dreams are. I mean, I know mine. I know mine is to reach financial freedom to where I could literally just have all my bills paid for, and to where I can do this, not just this, but travel around and meet people and interact with a whole bunch of different other people and teach people how to trade and generate wealth for their family and get them out of the rut. I mean, I know trading has gotten me out of the hole a bunch of times. This whole family, this whole community's done so much for me, honestly. A big shout out to everybody who's ever helped me or help, literally, yeah, just have helped me in general. I do appreciate that. So guys, also, if you guys are looking, I don't know if we have a promo code running. I don't think we have a promo code running right now, but if you haven't already, like I said, you can scan the QR code right up over here on my YouTube page, or you can click this link right here if you're on mobile. That's going to pull up my digital business card right here, and we have those master course classes. In the beginning of the video, I showed you how to use that code right here to get that discount, even for the single course classes. They're pretty cheap, so I think it's like $279 or something like that if you use code SAVE. So you guys specifically in the Discord get a great discount. And then I don't think I got to change this up. I don't think the promo code's working anymore. I think Code Mo is done. So if you guys got the discount, you're lucky you got grandfathered in. I think it was like 40% off. You only pay like $97 or something like that a month. Also, guys, if you guys are looking to do this for a long time, like I mentioned before, maybe teach your kids, maybe teach your wife, maybe teach your brother, maybe teach your mother, maybe teach your father, maybe, teach somebody else, or, have somebody else in here to, learn from, get the lifetime. Mo's going to be in here for a very long time. He's not going anywhere. I personally don't plan on going anywhere. I love it here. This place is great. Code Bread is back. Perfect. I'm about to change this up right now and put Code Bread right in there. So I'll change that by the time of this video. So if anybody else clicks on this, they'll have that new promo code. I don't know what the discount is. I haven't watched Mo's video yet this morning because obviously I woke up, immediately started doing this stuff. So I'll change that up there for you guys. So whatever that discount is, you can use that promo code right there for that discount. But like I said, if you guys are looking to stick with us for life, I highly recommend it. You're going to have everything you ever need right here. The BreadBot recipe, Mo, our expert traders, all the tools in the Discord, all the upgrades that we're doing, just kind of like Rich said, we got that version 2 coming out for the BreadBot. So, we're always bringing value here to the Discord. We're always trying to add more and more value to the Discord. One of the best Discords ever, in my personal opinion, hands down. Beats all the rest. I've been a part of a whole bunch of different other ones. Ours is the best, hands down. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much all I got for you. So you can follow me on my socials, and like I said, if you guys don't have a platform you guys are using, you could use my link right here down below. So I will see you guys in the Discord, and like I said, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate every single one of you, and like I said, I'll see you in the Discord.